This was a rather sudden invitation, but we are taking advantage of the presence here of a number of interesting, you can hear me. We're taking advantage of a number of speakers while they are here, because I think some of them will be leaving tomorrow or shortly after. So this is a particular forum on ethical consumption in the Philippine context. And the group that we have invited is something called the Transitional Institute for Grassroots Research and Action for TIGRA Philippines. It's a non-profit organization that supports the development of a transnational solidarity economy in the Philippines. I think what we are not very familiar with is how our own lifestyles are not particularly contributing to the environment. So we will be having a number of topics this afternoon on consumer movements, Philippine consumer movements, responsible travel, ethical finance, food movements, and so on. So these are topics that are not usually taken up in most of our fora, and we have speakers from various professions, from various positions in life. Most of them are here already, and if I might introduce some of them. Francis, founder and executive direction of TIGRA, so it's this organization, and he spent the past 30 years working as a community organizer, a trainer, administrator, and writer in San Francisco. He worked at the Center of Third World Organizing in 1984 to 1999, and currently serves as chair of the board. He's also a founding member of the National Organizers Alliance, Californians for Justice, and the Asian Pacific Environmental Network. I think Eric is not Eric. Eric. Eric Raymundo will be talking on sustainable tourism, and he's an engineer and environmental practitioner in the Philippines. His enthusiasm is rooted in his deep concern for nature and a sustainable way of living. Former scuba diver, Eric now consults businesses in the Philippines on how to save energy and resources. For the past 4 years, he has been a local senior technician for the Zero Carbon Resorts Project, funded by the Switch Asia project of the European Commission. Then we have Besa, who will speak to us on culinary heritage, and she is the godmother of Filipino cuisine in New York. She and her husband, Romy Dolotam, founded Centurion in Soho, New York, in 1985. Their current restaurant is Purple Yam in Brooklyn since 2009. Ami is also the co-author of Memories of Philippine Kitchens, which won the IACP Jane Gibson Award for distinguished scholarship in the quality of research presentation. Ami has spent years tracing the foods of the Philippines and learning culinary techniques that are rapidly disappearing and in some cases unknown to Filipinos, whether in the Philippines or abroad. And then we have so it's Chen. Chen is not here.
She's not coming.
She's not
Well, supposedly she's on
okay. But Melissa Gibson will be talking on Balikbayan ethical spending, and she is a Filipino-Canadian American and the director of TIGRA Philippines. She has a master's in geography from the University of Toronto, where she focused on remittances and the financial sector in the Philippines. She was a visiting research fellow at the Third World Studies Center here in 2011, and she is also an advocate and scholar of the solidarity economy. She has worked with TIGRA since 2009, when she helped pilot the Make for Change program in New York City. So, all of you are from the States? Most of you are from the States. So anyway, we're glad you're here. We welcome you here, and looking at all the different topics. They are not the traditional things that we are familiar with, but they're all very interesting. So without much further ado, I'd like to turn the floor over to our disciplined speakers. So who's going to be first?
Yeah.
Francis.